For this video, I wanted to talk about The Craft, and this is a movie about a group of girls who crochet, even when it's raining and thundering and lightning out, and they kind of make these crafts, and they do like little Afghan blankets and little toques and little mittens, and it's a really nice and affirming movie. No, I'm just kidding. It's about a craft of witches who kind of fuck with the powers that be, and they learn some dire consequences to it. So we have these three girls played by Fairuza Balk, Neve Campbell, and Rachel True. They're referred to in the school as the bitches of Eastwick because they are a coven of witches, basically, and they practice witchcraft, and at least in the reality of this movie, they get some real results. But to really hone in their power, to really kind of get things done, they need a fourth. So they've been seeking out a fourth, and then wouldn't you know it, a new girl from out of town, she moves into the neighborhood, moves to the school. That's Robin Tunney, who's great in Empire Records. I love her, and they see that she has some very special powers, like Neve Campbell. She's kind of like watching over, and she sees her kind of balancing the pencil, and she's like, hey, maybe we have a fourth here. Indeed they do. So it's all about the four girls getting together and practicing witchcraft and all the shit that happens because of that. So a lot of the consequential things happen from the fact that they're kind of, I guess, like the worst thing you can do in a position of power is kind of mess with free will, which is what they do, because they all have their reasons. Like, basically, with the Robin Tunney character, Sarah, she started to get to know this boy played by Skeet Ulrich, and she's kind of likes him, but then he tries to take things too far, and she says no, being not ready for that, or not wanting to do that, or I just met you, whatever. And he spreads a rumor about her that they did sleep together and that she's a lousy lay, and the whole school is kind of, talking about her now, and that's no good. So she puts a spell on him to kind of make him fall head over heels in love with her, and he's really pathetic about it and catering to her every whim, but that kind of backfires too. The Neve Campbell character, she has all these scars over her back, and it's been, a real traumatic experience for her, and she feels very ugly, but then she casts a spell to remove the scars, but then she gets a little bit too, vain and self-obsessed, really. She thinks she's, hot shit now, so that starts to cause problems. The Rachel True character, she has, and I think, this is a fair enough reason for revenge, more than anyone else, I think. A real racist bitch at the school was giving her a hard time, so she made her hair fall out. Yeah, I think that's fair, but she, kind of develops a conscience about it, I guess. And then for Fairuza Balk, she's wishing for riches, and her, I guess, stepfather, or at least her mother's living boyfriend, has a heart attack, leaves her in the will, and they get a bunch of money through life insurance. So everything seems to be going good, but then things have disastrous results. Skeet Ulrich character is becoming obsessed with Sarah, and as I mentioned, the Rachel True character, she's kind of feeling really, really bad. She sees the girl like crying alone in the bathroom, like, why is this happening to me? Neve Campbell, again, she's like just way too self-obsessed, way too vain, and Fairuza Balk, she's getting a power trip, which is very dangerous. So that's kind of where things start to go horribly wrong. There is a power struggle between the Fairuza Balk character and the Sarah character, and there's a big kind of final battle that amounts to it in a very severe kind of way. Like they do this horrible kind of spell sort of to deceive her into thinking certain things, and basically they want her to kill herself and things like that. So it gets really dark. I mean, it really does. So it does feel like, in a lot of ways, like what I love about this speech, it's the quote from the Boston Globe. It's Carrie meets Clueless. Like, it sort of is. I mean, when you think about it, like Breckin Meyer's in it. But it does have this feel of like a teen movie, where this could almost be like this could be almost like, let's say, I know it didn't exist at the time, but like Mean Girls with witches, basically. So there's always going to be movies about high school and evil of youth and things like that, which something like Carrie, of course, really explored quite well, and things like that. But then there's also this edge to it, where it's a movie about witchcraft and about the consequences to it. So, I mean, thing is, if you like turn on the TV now, WB channel or whatever it is now, you'll see like a million different high school dramas with like supernatural stuff in it. This was a little bit different for the time, I'd say. This is just a little bit of a, fresh kind of take on it, which I wouldn't necessarily call it a horror movie, but of course it has witches in it, and that's what you need for Halloween time, right? I do like how they have this modern interpretation of witches, not like the witches in The Witches, or the witches in Hocus Pocus or whatever. They're just real people who kind of practice this way of life, and apparently Fairuza Balk, she is a real life Wiccan, so she consulted as much as she could in the movie. So it feels that, like, though there is fantastical elements to it, it does feel at least true to a certain mindset, I guess. So it feels like it's coming from a sincere place, I'd say. And again, it's just something that's like a little bit different for the time, which I'm actually really surprised they never really like explored it further. Like they never went, for like a sequel. Like you think with anything, name any horror movie, even if say there wasn't a big series amount of it, there's like always like some like kind of like shitty direct to video sequel, like Mean Girls. Or maybe even like a TV series. Like I would totally watch, like if they adapted this to a TV series, I'd totally check that out. But no, nothing came of this. It was just kind of strange and kind of, I'd say, unique, because I know this movie definitely has its following. I know people regard it as kind of like this '90s classic, which is it definitely is. I mean, it's something that's just a little bit different, which I like, and you don't want to see the same thing all over the time. So it changes certain things of what we know from certain other movies, and I think it's really good. The cast is really good. Strong acting. I love Neve Campbell. Robin Tunney is great. I love Fairuza Balk. She's like, I mean, she's fucking Dorothy from Return to Oz, right? So I mean, she's, yeah. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I love the movie. I think it's great. I think you definitely got to check it out, especially if you want to see something that's just like a different kind of take on witches, but at the same time just like a high school kind of drama kind of thing. I think it's extremely well done. Ends a little bit abruptly, I would say. Leaves a lot of things hanging. And I would say even maybe, just maybe, the fate of one certain character, well, the Fairuza Balk character. Honestly, I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure if I've been pronouncing the name right the whole time. Fairuza Balk. Fairuza Balk. I don't know. But I think her fate might have been a little bit too harsh. That's just my opinion. But at the same time, she caused some shit. So that's my review of The Craft. Check it out. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is typing. I don't know. Thanks for watching. More reviews to come. So this should be Devil's Night that I have this uploaded. So enjoy your Devil's Night. Light your candles. Do your seance. Pray to Satan. And sacrifice a goat. And I'll see you next time. And stay tuned for tomorrow, which is Halloween Day 2015. So I'll see you later.